Bloody hell. Day 1284. Being uploaded very late on day 1285. So yesterday was peak. Obviously, I think I already explained that I had the issue with the drain. Yesterday it was ongoing. I didn't even go into work. I had to take what's called emergency annual leave. Annual leave for an emergency, which indeed it was. I was hoping Thames Water were going to come yesterday and solve the problem, but they didn't. Imagine, I called them up on Sunday and they said, yeah, we'll be here anytime between now and Tuesday. Like, the pipe's getting... No, the pipe is blocked and the level... I can't even call it water because it wasn't... Well, it was water, it's flipping sewage water and whatever other nastiness was in there. But it's like... Anytime you flush the toilet, pretty much most of the sinks that you use, I think even if you're using the shower... It's all running through this one central pipe, so I had to try and be clever about it because I did briefly try again to see if I could push through whatever was blocking it, but again, no. What am I saying? No joy, no joy essentially. So I thought, you know what? Can I maybe be clever about this? So I thought, okay, well, what's the issue? The issue is the water. Well, the issue is the blockage, but what also is the issue? The other issue is the water level rising, and we don't want that because we don't want it to overflow because that's nasty, dirty sewage water just overflowing in the garage, which is not an empty garage. There are things in there. Granted, some stuff has been moved, but you know, having to move everything out there, that's a whole chore in and of itself. But I was like, okay, well, how can we minimize the water level? Now, what I had been doing before, which was laborious and nasty, is getting a container, scooping it out, and then putting it out in the other pipe, or opening up the other manhole that we have and putting it down there, because that was fine. That wasn't blocked. The blockage was between the garage and the garden, right in the middle. The garden, that was fine. It is supposed to flow through into the garden and go on to the main pipes that connects all the neighbours and all of that. That one was fine. So I'd be... What I did last time when this got blocked, scooped out the water, put it in there. Scoop out the water, put it out there. But then because of... The pipe is rather narrow, it gets to a certain part where you can't get the bucket in there. So then I thought, okay, what else can I do? All right, cool. Let me get like a little bottle, you know, like a little 500ml bottle, which is able to do that. But that takes long. Obviously, you're having to get your hand right in that nasty water. Obviously, wearing gloves, but still. Because when you go to clean the gloves, it takes forever to get that smell out, man. Unreal. Never smelled anything like it. But yeah, so that was mad laborious. So I was like, surely there has to be a better way. And whilst I was doing this, and of course this time round, my flipping back and my legs, oh my lord, it's like I did a 2-hour workout at the gym. Mad. So basically what I thought is there's got to be something I can buy to make this easier. So then I started looking on the websites like Screwfix and Toolstation as well, to try and see if there was some type of siphon or water pump that I could get. Now, it was so much flipping back and forth, because I'd be finding stuff and I was like, oh, can this work? I'm not sure. Then eventually I thought, you know what, let me just call them up. Called up both of them, Screwfix and Toolstation, and one thing I found out, I can't actually, yeah, for Toolstation as well, is you can ask them questions, but they can't give what they call expert advice. Like, if you ask them what something does, they're literally just reading the description on the website. Like, they don't, yeah, they can't speak on anything. Now, I get that to a degree, but surely you're missing a trick here. Surely it would be good to even... It doesn't have to be for everything, because I'm sure there is a disgusting amount of inventory that they have, but surely for maybe like the top sellers, you should at least part-time hire in or get in some expert users of the stuff. You know, people who are plumbers, carpenters, whatever it may be. You know, get them on board so that, you know, customers can actually maybe send them questions somehow. Or maybe they could be on live for certain times throughout the day so that people can ask them questions like, how does this thing actually work? How will it work in this scenario? Is this suitable for that scenario? All of that type of stuff. But there seems to be a big... I mean, yeah, this is my first time having a conversation with them over the phone, and that's one issue that I identified there. Like, there's a gap. So someone could take advantage of that. Might even be me. Who knows? But yeah, man, like, it's the person was friendly and helpful enough. It's like, oh, well, what would be suitable for my situation that I have? And they're like, well, we think this could work, but of course we can't tell you any more than, you know, what's on the website. So it's a little bit frustrating, but it is what it is. So from what I could see, eventually I spoke with one person. They're like, oh, we think we've got what you need, but it's only available on online order and it would take 2 days to arrive. It's like, well, I'm not even sure if I have 2 days. So yeah, it was just long. Eventually I gave up after speaking to both Toolstation and Screwfix. And I just started looking myself, and I was like, okay, well, let me look on Amazon. Obviously everything is for... Well, not everything. Certain stuff wasn't even for like next day Prime delivery. Certain stuff was for like days down the line. It's like, no. Eventually, I thought, you know what, let me try and think outside the box. Let me go like Homebase or B&Q. And eventually, I found one thing that I thought would work. It's basically this type of water pump. Now, it didn't look like it was designed for that. Like, the picture that they gave was for pumping petrol out from your car into like a little canister. And it's funny, a lot of these pumps, they talk about being suitable for oil, and then they mention other liquids. Like, just say water, man. Flipping out. Like, what's... So yeah, anywho, so I found this little mini pump, and it was pretty cheap as well. It was like £10. So I was like, flipping out, I think this would work. But I wasn't sure. And it was getting later on in the day as well, and obviously it was Monday, so I was like, and I was very much aware that the water level was rising. I managed to get it down a bit on Sunday, but obviously Monday, you know, people still need to use the toilet and all of that jazz. Can't stop people from using the toilet. But yeah, so the water level was rising, and then obviously people having to use the shower, because, nasty alert, I didn't have a shower on Sunday, because I was stressed out. If I now have a shower, how much is the water level going to come up? And if I have a shower and then I have to take it down and then get in splattered with stuff, yeah, I just wasn't down for the stress. So on Monday, I just felt nasty. I felt dirty and greasy and stressed out. But yeah, anywho, so I thought, you know what, went online, I went to, was it Homebase? Yes, Homebase, placed an order, and I think they only had like one in stock as well. Everywhere else didn't seem to have what I thought I would need, which is really weird. Like, I'm not saying this, my exact issue happens all the time, but I'm sure there are other things that one would need these siphoning things for. But yeah, anyways, I bought it, headed down there, got down there in okay-ish time, picked it up, brought it straight back, and I didn't want to chill, but I got back, I was maybe chilling for about 15-20 minutes, and then I got to it. I thought, you know, let me test it out, and I tested it out on fresh, clean water first. It worked. Then I brought it downstairs, and I was like, okay, cool, let's do this. And then it bloody worked. It's a manual pump, so it's a small little thing, like from, like, I don't know, like this big, let's say, something like that. You probably can't even get the scale, man. But anyways, and it's a manual thing, so you pull down the pump, push the pump, pull down the pump, and yeah, essentially there's like two little pipes that hook up to it, and I guess it's air suction powered. So it literally pulls the water and spits it out the other pipe. This to me was whilst it was still manual, like it was a far less laborious, much quicker way of getting water from point A to point B. Now, ideally, I wanted to siphon it directly from the block pipe into the one that wasn't blocked, so bypassing the blockage. But of course, because I'd been faffing about with these people and wasn't able to find stuff, and I wasn't sure if this was right or this was right, and I was kind of chancing it with this pump that I bought. So I just had to go with that. Obviously, because it's not a big one, the tubes, both the tubes that stick out the end of it, are not really long, so nowhere near long enough. I need like tubes that will like flipping, I don't know, 5 or 7 meters in length, and they're probably not even a meter each of them. But had a bucket or container that I was using, so I just put it in that and then carried that out and emptied it out, which again was still a little bit long, but so much better. Like I could have actually sat down and done that. To be fair, I didn't. Flipping stressed out my back and legs a bit more. Like I'm so sore today, man. But it worked, and I got the level down nearly to the point where it looked like it wasn't blocked anymore. Obviously, the blockage was still there, but I got the water level down. So at least, even if I'd had to come back and do it a few times, I could live with a certain level of peace, peace and calm, that even if people use the stuff and it rises back up again, I can get that water level right back down and it wouldn't take too long. So managed to find that workaround, so I felt somewhat successful. I didn't feel like a complete and utter failure like I did on Sunday. So yeah, I was happy about that. So one little mini success. However, it was still blocked, and I tried to move the blockage, wasn't happening, so I was like, fine, just gonna have to wait tomorrow for Thames to come through. But then I was stressed out because I was like, I bet you they're not gonna. I've had them come before and they say, oh, if anything happens within this region, it's private, so you're gonna have to get a plumber in. This is a very long video. This might be my longest one yet. Shoot. So then if they come and say, well, yeah, there's nothing we can do, I was just thinking about, okay, shoot, I'm gonna have to call a plumber. And low battery. I'm gonna have to call a plumber, and how long is it going to take him to come out, and more importantly, how much is it going to cost? Yeah, so I was just thinking about that, but I was like, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right now, I can live in the fact that I have control over getting the water level down, so that's good. So yeah, that was that. So, and as a result, what I probably should have said at the beginning of the video, this is why I didn't flipping upload my video yesterday, because yeah, I got so stressed out with all of this and having to do that and getting splashed with dirty sewer water. I got so caught up with stuff, and by the time I realised, I remember I looked at the clock at one point. I was like, oh, okay, cool, got enough time. Next time I came to look at it, it's literally like midnight on the dot, or like 1 minute past, and I was vexed because I had time and it came to my mind. But anywho, so that was that. But there is more to the story, but we'll continue that in the next video. So for now, we'll leave that there. That's day 1284. I'll catch you very shortly for day 1285. Yeah.